Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kate, and today I'm going to be talking about 10 pros and cons of being vegan. And I think this is a really important video to make because a lot of vegan YouTubers, they always talk about the pros of being vegan and how amazing it is. And while I agree with them that being vegan is amazing, I think it's important to also say what the cons are of this lifestyle, because a lot of people jump into it thinking, oh, it's gonna be so easy and it's gonna be amazing, I'm gonna have no problems at all. And it's not that way. Nothing in life is perfect. So I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. And I'm gonna tell you what I think are the 10 pros and cons of being vegan. But I'm gonna say this now that I had a lot more difficulty coming up with the cons than the pros, and that's because for me personally, I think that the pros outweigh the cons, and I would never go back to the way that I was eating before. I love being vegan and I wouldn't change that, but I think everyone needs to make an informed decision about their diet choices. So I'm just going to tell you the truth about my experience, what I've learned, and then you can decide for yourself if being vegan is for you. We're gonna do a pro, con, just to keep it interesting. So the first pro that I have is that when you go vegan, you don't have to give up anything food-wise. So for me, I thought that it was gonna be very difficult to get the foods that I liked. I might not be enjoying my meals as much, but that's totally not true. You don't have to give up anything when you're vegan, because nowadays there's so many vegan alternatives. There's vegan pizza, vegan ice cream, vegan cheese, vegan chicken tenders, vegan burgers. Everything is vegan now. You can find an option for absolutely anything. So you really don't have to give anything up when you go vegan, which is amazing. The first con, and the most obvious con to me, is that eating out at restaurants can get pretty difficult. Now, vegan restaurants are awesome, but there's not really many where I live. Now, if you live in LA or New York City or someplace like that where the vegan diet is a lot more common, then you're gonna have way more options. But for me personally, I go to a lot of restaurants that don't offer vegan food, and sometimes it can be really difficult to order a vegan meal. The waiter or waitress might have no idea what you're talking about. That can make it kind of difficult when you go vegan, is that going out to restaurants is a bit more of a struggle. And the next pro is a really awesome one, and that is going vegan has really helped to clear up my skin. And I think that's just due to getting a lot more fruits and vegetables in, a lot more vitamins and minerals. And also I eat a lot of fruit on my vegan diet. I eat fruit for breakfast and lunch. I have so much fruit, and that is such high water content that I'm constantly hydrating my body, and that has significantly improved my skin. So I think that going vegan really does help your skin if you struggle with acne, especially with things like dairy, because I know dairy breaks out a lot of people. It broke me out, and I just could not eat dairy without my skin just going absolutely crazy. So when you cut things like that out of your diet that your skin doesn't like, it just significantly improves. Like, it's brighter and clearer and more glowy. So going vegan really helped my skin. The next con is a little bit sad, and this is primarily if your family, friends aren't vegan as well, which none of my family or friends are vegan. So I definitely feel this, and that is that you can feel left out sometimes. And pretty much this just means that whenever I'm with my friends, and if they're all ordering pizza and just eating pizza and talking, obviously I can't eat that pizza unless it's vegan pizza, which pretty much 10 times out of 10 it's not a vegan pizza. Or if they're going out to get ice cream, I can't go get ice cream unless they have a vegan option. You can kind of feel left out in social situations where there's not vegan options for you, but the social event kind of revolves around food. So that can be a little bit tough to get used to, but I found it really helpful to bring my own vegan options to parties and hangouts with my friends, and then you can share it with them and show them how great vegan food is. So it's definitely a con, but it can be avoided. This is a really good pro, and that is that the vegan diet really does give you a lot more energy. I don't know what it is about it, but I just feel so much more energetic all the time. I don't feel very sluggish. I think that's probably due to me cutting out the really bad processed junk food in my traditional diet that I was eating before. I really don't eat fast food anymore because there's not really that many vegan fast food options as it is. So I just have a lot more energy, and I'm getting a lot more nutrients in my body. So I think my body's just really happy about that. This is a major con for me personally because it's something that I really enjoy, and it became more difficult when I went vegan. And that is that a lot of makeup and skincare products are not cruelty-free. This doesn't apply to you if you are just vegan for the diet, but if you're vegan for the whole lifestyle, then this can really set you back, because a lot of my makeup products that I used before are not cruelty-free, and a lot of my skincare products are not cruelty-free, and I had to give them up, which can be difficult, but in my opinion, totally worth it for the animals and all that. But that can be something that is a little bit tough to get used to, and nobody really talks about that. I feel like they just ignore it, but it is a pretty big part of your decision going vegan, that there's a lot of things that you're probably going to have to give up that you use on a daily basis. Okay, so this one is really exciting, this pro, and that is when you go vegan, you're not forced to eat a healthy diet, because you can definitely be an unhealthy vegan and eat lots of the processed foods. But for the most part, when you go vegan, you are eating a healthier diet, especially if you're eating whole plant foods, and that results in weight loss, at least in my personal experience. When you are eating a diet that's high in fruits and vegetables and grains, you can lose weight easier. And just going vegan in general is usually a healthier diet. Not that you can't eat healthy on a non-vegan diet, I think that you definitely can, but I've also seen that vegan diet can really help you gain weight. I know a lot of people that are recovering from eating disorders go on a vegan diet because it really helps them to gain weight. They can eat an abundance of foods. So the vegan diet is really just flexible for whatever your needs and wants are for your body, and I think that's really awesome. Okay, another con. This is more, again, on the side of being vegan for the lifestyle, and that is that a lot of accessories, a lot of bags, a lot of shoes are not cruelty-free. I didn't really realize until I went vegan how much of like my shoes and bags and just things that I buy are made out of leather, suede, and all this stuff that's not vegan. But you don't think about it until you actually are vegan and realize, like, wow, there's a lot of things that they use animals for to make. So that can be really tough if you're into fashion. Like, you're giving up fur, you're giving up leather, you're giving up all these things. But the good thing is that a lot of fashion items are now made with faux fur, faux leather, so you're not really giving up the look of it. It's just the things that you already have in your closet. I didn't realize how many things I had that actually aren't vegan, which can be a little bit disappointing. Okay, the next pro is a big one and a good one, because I love food, I love to eat. I like to eat really big portion sizes. I just love to eat food, and that was not gonna fly with my old diet, because I would gain weight like that. With the foods that I was eating, you cannot eat an abundance of, or you just gain weight really, really quickly. With the vegan diet, I love how you can eat more and maintain your weight, and that is awesome to me, because you can just eat much more of an abundance on a vegan diet, because the foods that you are eating are so low calorie that you can eat more of them than on a traditional non-vegan diet, where you can have to eat less of them to maintain your weight, if that makes sense. I just really like how on the vegan diet you can eat more and enjoy more food and maintain your weight. Okay, this is a con, but not everyone is going to experience it, and that is that a lot of people are going to question you, and you're gonna have to explain yourself and defend yourself, and it gets really, really old. I don't mind when people ask questions about veganism. I really like talking about it, and I really like to educate other people on it and just like say my own experience and stuff like that. But it gets really annoying when people are kind of rude about it and ask you questions that can be really offensive and tell you that, oh, you're not healthy, you're not getting the nutrients you need, you're protein deficient, like all these things that are really hurtful, and you have to constantly defend yourself and explain yourself, which just gets old. You shouldn't have to explain yourself in your diet choices to other people, but in the vegan diet, a lot of people are really critical of it, which is unfortunate, and that's a definite con, I think. This is a pro for me personally. So in my experience in the vegan diet, I get way more vitamins and nutrients and minerals than I was before. And again, this is totally dependent on what kind of foods you eat on your vegan diet, because you can be eating, you know, mock chicken and vegan ice cream all day long, and you're probably not gonna get the right nutrients. But if you fuel your body with the right foods, lots of fruit, vegetables, grains, legumes, stuff like that, you're gonna get all the nutrients that you need. When I transitioned to a vegan diet, I really started loving fruits and vegetables. I found innovative ways to incorporate them into my meals so that I would eat them more. So now my diet, I get all the vitamins and minerals that I need, and that's really a benefit when you go vegan. That's why everyone feels so amazing when they go vegan, or most people feel amazing when they go vegan, because you're getting all the nutrients that your body needs, and that is really, really important. And one vitamin that everyone seems to think that vegans don't get enough is vitamin B12. And I completely understand why. It's because vitamin B12 is not made by plants, but it's also not made by animals. Vitamin B12 is in the soil, but now since we have really improved sanitation systems and our food goes through an entire process of being sterilized, and we don't get the B12 from the soil anymore. So now animals are injected with B12 so that they have B12 in their system, and then when you eat the animal, you get the B12. And no one's injecting plants with B12, so that's not how vegans get B12. But a lot of foods are now fortified with B12. All my plant milks are fortified with B12. The almond milk, the soy milk, everything has B12 in it. Nutritional yeast is often fortified with B12. There's lots of foods that are fortified with B12, so I get like 400% of my daily need of B12. Okay, this is a con, but it's not a huge con. It's just kind of something that is like in the back of my mind all the time. Once you go vegan, you're never gonna see food the same way that you once did. I personally am vegan for animals and also for health and the environment and that kind of thing, but my main reason is for the animals. So I really educated myself. I watched a bunch of documentaries and saw the animal abuse and torture and stuff like that, which is really, really sad, but I watched it because I knew that I wanted to be educated on it. And now whenever I see dairy or meat or anything like that, I just see it differently, and it makes me feel bad, it makes me feel sad when I see it. But you're never gonna get away from that because we live in a world where it's the norm to be eating those things. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind when you go vegan, is that you're probably never going to see those foods the same again. But that's okay, because everyone can make their own choices, and all that matters is that you do what's best for you and you have a diet that makes you happy and feel your best. So that's what I'm doing. So it's a con, but it's okay. Okay, another pro is that my digestion has greatly improved since going vegan. I got backed up on a traditional non-vegan diet, and I think that's because I wasn't getting enough fiber, and just I wasn't getting the nutrients I need to help improve my digestion, and also wasn't getting enough water in. Again, all these things can be improved on a non-vegan diet. I'm just saying that for me, they were easier on a vegan diet, if that makes sense. Like, you can definitely improve your digestion on a non-vegan diet by eating more foods with high fiber and drinking more water, but I just found it easier on a vegan diet because I was automatically getting more fiber through my fruits and vegetables that I relied on as food sources, and those were high water content, so I was naturally getting more water in. I hope that makes sense, because I don't want to be slamming non-vegan diets. I want everyone to make their own informed decision on it, and you definitely can improve these things on a non-vegan diet. I just found it to be easier on a vegan diet. I would always get bloated before on my non-vegan diet, and ever since going vegan, I really don't get bloated often. I get bloated sometimes, but not nearly as much as I once did before I was vegan. Another con, this one might not apply to everybody, but this is just my personal experience. Sometimes I do feel like a burden on other people, especially when I'm going to somebody's house and they've made dinner for you and nothing's vegan. You feel like a burden not eating it, or you feel like a burden if somebody has to make you a special meal for your diet. And I don't really like that. I don't really like feeling like I am being difficult. I don't like feeling like I'm being picky or rude. I don't want to be a burden on other people, but sometimes when you are on a vegan diet and other people around you are not on a vegan diet, you can be a burden, at least in my mind, on those people. I still think that the vegan diet is worth it because of all its benefits, but I don't really like feeling that way. This is definitely my favorite pro, I think, about going vegan. That is, you feel like you are making a difference, and you are. A lot of times people think like, oh, you're just one person, like what does it matter if you were vegan because nobody else is? But That's not true. The food that we buy is truly supply and demand. So if less people are demanding that food, then they're going to be supplying less of it in return. So I think that vegans are definitely making a difference for the animals and for the environment and just for their overall health in general. It's really nice to feel like you're making a difference and you're standing up for something that you believe in, and I really like that about being vegan. Another con is just that when you go vegan, sometimes it can feel like you're being judged. And when I first went vegan, I feel like, unfortunately, I think I judged other people who weren't vegan because I was just so passionate about it. I just really hated that. I did not like being that way to other people that I loved, and I think it's really important to be accepting of everyone's diet choices, and that means that if you are non-vegan, accepting vegan diet choices, and if you are vegan, accepting non-vegan diet choices, because the way you choose to live your life, the way you choose to eat, it's your personal individual choice, and I don't think that anybody should be criticized for that. So that's something that I don't like about being vegan, is that a lot of times people will judge me and they will make assumptions about my health when they really don't know anything about the vegan diet. So that's a definite con, but again, who really cares? You do you. Another awesome pro is that veganism is becoming more popular and there are becoming more options every day, and this makes me so happy because it goes back again to we are making a difference, because clearly things are changing. I'm sure you've seen out in restaurants, there are more vegan options on menus, there are more vegan options in the grocery store, and veganism is just growing and it's becoming easier and easier to go vegan because of all the new options that they have. Okay, this is a con, and it's a con within the vegan community, and that kind of makes me a little bit upset. And if you watch Kalel, who is a really awesome vegan YouTuber, she made a video all about this, and that is that vegans, or I shouldn't generalize and say all vegans, but a lot of vegans expect other vegans to be perfect and to not make any mistakes. I don't like that feeling of being under a microscope, of every single thing I have to do has to be 100% perfect. I think Kalel said it really well. I will link it in the description box for you to watch if you're interested in it. I saw a comment on Kalel's video and I couldn't agree with it more. It said that what's better, to have 10,000 people that are making contributions to the movement and they're trying their best to be vegan and they are incorporating plant-based foods in their diet, they're trying not to buy things with leather and fur, and they're really making an effort, but they're not perfect? Is it better to have 10,000 of those people, or is it better to have 100 people who are perfect vegans? It's better to have 10,000 people, because at the end of the day, this is something that vegans are trying to do to limit the suffering of animals, and it's better to have more people for that than more people against it. And it gives vegans a really bad name if they're negative and they are judgmental, and no one wants to be a part of a community like that. So it's a con that sometimes vegans can be that way and not be supportive of other vegans. Another pro, and this is one that again a lot of people I think don't agree with, but that is that when you go vegan, your groceries are cheaper. And a lot of people think that it's gonna be more expensive because, I don't know, healthy food is sometimes associated with being more expensive and vegan is associated with being healthy. But the vegan staples that are supposed to be in huge abundance in your diet, fruits, vegetables, bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, those things are all so cheap at the grocery store, and things that you would buy on a non-vegan diet like steak and just all meat in general, that stuff can be really expensive. Of course, the vegan options that are more specialty products, the ones that are more expensive, but I'm talking the staples, the things that you're going to be eating all the time, pasta, bread, potatoes, fruits, veggies, are so much cheaper. The last con, and I'm being really real with this one because it's such a big stereotype with vegans that we don't get enough protein. We do get enough protein, but being completely honest, it is more difficult to get a high protein diet in, but it's not impossible. It just takes more effort. I made a video a little bit ago that was a what I eat in a day high protein vegan, and I got in 162 grams of protein, which is way more than I need for myself personally. So it is definitely possible. It just takes more effort. So that is my 10 pros and 10 cons of being vegan. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you found it helpful. I tried to be completely honest. And if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That would mean so much to me. And I will see you guys in my next video.